Hey everybody, it's Mark Ruggiero here in my backyard, beautiful sunny California. It's about, I don't know, 8 o'clock, a little breeze blowing, cool 90 degrees, thank goodness no humidity. So this video is not my normal video. I'll put it in the title. This is my story about, I'll just say it. I'm a reformed, hardcore, right-wing voter in America. And this is my story. And all I ask is that if you do comment, you keep it respectful. I'm not going to attack any individual on this, except maybe politicians. And I ask that you watch it till the end. And here's why. I didn't write a script for this. I didn't. I've given it a lot of thought over the last few weeks. And I realized, I'm going to post this on my channel. I'm not going to share it, probably on Facebook, except maybe my personal page. Nothing to do with my views on wargaming or the community, anything like that. And I realize, I might lose some subscribers over it. I don't know. But I really wanted to share my story about how I became a reformed right-winger. And I'll just say it one more time. I'm going to ask that you're respectful enough to, if you do comment, I can take respectful comments. No problem. I'm pretty damn tough, fighting pancreatic cancer and other things like that. But, and I just do ask that you watch till the end, if you watch it, because otherwise you may not get the full context. You're going to agree with everything I say? Probably not. But it's important to me to share my story. So anyways, I was, born September 13th, 1965. I was brought up in a middle-class Italian family on the East Coast. I came to California when I was 10. I was brought up Catholic. And I guess you could say that, I had loving grandparents and my parents were okay. I don't really have a good relationship with my parents at all. I'm just being honest. They tried, but and I love them, but they are my parents. And I doubt mom or dad will ever see this, but if you do, know I love you. I'm not criticizing. I'm just trying to state some facts, give a little perspective on my political views. Great grandparents. I've got had a very radical uncle, my Uncle Jay. Went to Haight-Ashbury in the 60s, did the whole civil rights thing in the South, hiding in basements from the KKK, because they'd hang them if they caught them, and whole 9 yards. And I have another Uncle Stevie and family that I love very much, and they're very much on the opposite end of the spectrum for me. But how did I become, so I think that sets the parameters that I was brought up, middle class, Italian family, Catholic, pretty conservative. Not as ultra right wing as I eventually became, but conservative. I turned 18 in September 13th, 1983, and oh, excuse me. Oh my God. Sorry about that. That's the cancer speaking. I can't help that. I 65, 75. Yeah, so I turned 18. The first time I went and registered for the draft. Because, I don't know if people still do that, but we had to do that back then. And had enlisted in the Air Force in the delayed entry program. I graduated high school in June of '83, and I signed up to go into the Air Force probably sometime in January. And my first election, I voted for Ronald Reagan. Not really a right-winger, real conservative. I regret voting for him, very much so, but that's where my head was at the time. I proceeded to eventually vote for Pat Buchanan, and if you're old enough, you'll know who Pat Buchanan was, and that was because I believe it was Bob Dole was running, and Bob Dole wasn't conservative enough for me. Yeah, I'm still smoking. Why not? I got terminal cancer, so why quit? But, you know, I was pretty hateful. I voted for years. Republican line, voted for Pete Wilson. I voted for whoever else the last Republican governors were here in California, for my state and local representatives. And, you know, when I got out of the military in October of 1987, I found it difficult to, you know, find a job. I did get a minimum wage job that provided me enough to, I was married, finally, you know, married to my lovely wife, Elvie, and, but I was able to pay my rent, fill the gas up in the tank, you know, work 50 hours a week, had guaranteed hours, profit sharing, health insurance, and proceeded to hold other jobs that, you know, progressively were better, and got laid off in under Bush 1, I think it was sometime in 1990. But I had really bought into the everything was the, you know, black welfare mother's fault, the people sucking off the system, the communist unions, you know, just everything was bad, and always angry all the time. People coming across the border, yep, same old shit that we hear today. And, you know, used to get in fist fights with my brother Ron, love you Ron, that, you know, worked for a union, was very progressive. And me and him used to get in, we got in some heated arguments and fist fights, literally, my own brother, who I'm very close to. And, just really, I don't know, I just had a lot of anger, a lot of hate. I gotta tell you, I was this close. I never did any violence or anything like that, but I was pretty extreme. I was, you know, looking at right-wing white supremacist groups and parties, and, you know, I'm not ashamed to tell you, I was angry. I just felt like I couldn't get ahead, and I kept voting the same way, and nothing ever changed. My taxes still went up, still got screwed, you know. And somewhere along the line, between my brother and when I got laid off, you know, I went back to night school, and I had a study group, and I don't remember to this day, my goodness, you know, there was a Hispanic kid, you know, we were in our seat, I was like 25, and Tina, who was black, and her husband worked for the fire department in San Francisco, and we lived in Sacramento. We're all about the same age, and we were taking, at that time, it was a trig class by then, but we had a study group, and after school we used to go out, go get pizza, go out drinking, all three of us, and the thing was, I always thought about what my brother Ron said, and different things, the way I felt about things. And I really thought I gotta give Tina a lot of credit. I don't know what happened to her, where she's at these days, but she helped me get over. And I didn't say this earlier, but I had all the isms. I don't know if they're isms. I was homophobic. I was racist as all hell. I was, you name it. I had every affliction that was, just aimed at hate. But I give my brother a lot of credit, but actually I gotta give Tina a lot of credit because once we started our study group and I started interacting more on just a human level, like 25-year-old father to 25-year-old, mother, the Hispanic kid. I wish I could remember his name, but he was a father. And we were all doing the same thing. And I started thinking, we're all trying to do the same thing. We just want better for our kids. We want to progress our lives. And why? And I started to think. And it wasn't like one day a switch came on. It really wasn't. It was slow. It was a very slow evolution, I guess. And the hardest part for me was, my whole life had been brought up, Mark, if you play by the rules and you do this and you do this and this, you'll be one of us someday. And that's the first lie that we get sold in America by the right-wing parties. Okay? And I'm not saying the Democrats are perfect. They're not. I'll get to that towards the end. But I will say that was a big step for me. And the first Democratic president I voted for was Bill Clinton. And by no stretch was he a liberal, okay? He instituted welfare reforms, and different things like that to this day, they were just wrong. But I started to learn things, like maybe things you've never thought about, like, if we didn't have welfare and everybody worked, we had 100% employment, wages would be even lower than what they are now. Also a simple fact that, there's people that scam the system. We can all point at them, and most of them are probably white, because that's who's mostly on welfare, by the way, is white people. And I'm not saying that's the right place to be, but I'll say this. Maybe you don't know, but it's really true if you really do your homework. People want to feel valued. They want to have a job. They want to participate in society. And I got over my racism. My wife's Filipino. She used to ask me, she goes, why do you marry me? You're so damn racist. And I was, I'd always have, well, I love you. You're different. But even that, I guess I just progressed where I learned to embrace my brothers and sisters. We're all humans. We all have dreams. Doesn't matter the color of your skin, your religion, who you choose to love. That's popular to say now. Before you could say, before I had the transformation, I just want to say, I can remember sitting on my patio with my American flag waving. And I would have some pretty hateful thoughts. And I'm so glad I got through that. But I say reformed right-winger because I am. I'm definitely you know, got rid of all my racism, my homophobia, and all that. I embrace everybody. You know, we're all human beings. We all have the same dreams. It's just a matter of how we get there. And I realized that the right is really good, for example, for us veterans, of waving the flag and, oh, we're going to do this and this, but yet they, you know, cut veteran benefits. They, you know, America's always at war, which isn't just Republicans, but, you know, just don't put their money where their mouth is. And I can say this, my local representative that was a Democrat got a humongous VA center built, brought all kinds of funding into San Joaquin County here locally. Biden, more recently, you know, did some things to get the VA funded. They're still short doctors, there's still issues, but they actually do a pretty good job now. Healthcare in America, my God, all the Republicans do. They cut the Affordable Care Act. It's not perfect. Obama got that passed. We need to strengthen it. It's criminal that our healthcare system's tied to our job, period. Nobody in this country should have to worry about, we need answers. We don't have them all yet, but have a roof over their head, food on the table, be able to go to the doctor when they're sick. You know, we say, oh, we want people to work, but then we don't want to do what we need to do to support people to lift themselves up. You know, the right's really good at saying, lift yourself up by your own bootstraps. Well, you know what? It just doesn't work that way. And if you've had life happen to you, you know it is. My age group's really guilty of that. Like, we were able to go to college if we wanted, really cheap. Kids today don't have that option. They come out of their saddle with debt. No, they can't work the summer job like we did to pay it off. We don't put enough funding into our schools. Period. Social Security, Medicare, pretty easy to fix actually. Uncap the cap on it so that everybody pays taxes into it up to whatever they make. Do a wealth tax, whatever you got to do. There's enough money in this country. You know, there's something basically wrong with their system. I think we can all agree on that. That the CEO does a terrible job, gets fired, gets a golden parachute, and the average worker basically gets, oh, you know, maybe if you're lucky, there's a few weeks' pay or severance package, and they hit the streets, buddy. But I don't know, I guess, you know, what I really want to share and get across in this video is the mark, you know, 58 now, so shit, you know, 35 years ago, 33, was a much different mark than the mark today. Went to work for a union, have done that as an organizer the last, 15 years of my life. And I've, helped my members understand and do some amazing things to change their life for the better. I live in a state, California, we got the 5th largest economy in the world, and yeah, we got issues, we got to solve, we got to figure out, but we have great roads, good infrastructure. We have programs that honestly help me keep my house. When me and my wife got sick, I'm just going to tell you, without the programs in place here, in fact, only 5 states in the United States have state disability that, gets taken out of your check. That saved our house. And there's literally only 5 states in America that have that. right now you're faced with a choice of, I can't even say his name, the dump. I'm just going to call him that. I'm not going to apologize, but I can't say his name. And it's just crazy what they're proposing. What do? They wave the flag, say we're going to make America great. You know, how are they going to make America great? Oh, we're going to stop the immigrants at the border. Well, you know, actually right now, if you look, the immigration's at its lowest level it's been in years. Violent crime is down under Biden. It was under Trump. Historically, you can go do the research. Economies have always been better under the Democrats. So we got a lot of issues to fix. I keep saying that. We do. But we're not going to do that by voting in some guy that waves a flag, wraps himself as an American, and says we're going to make America great when he's done absolutely nothing except for the rich. And I'll say this, it's on us, you know, like there have been people that have run for office that don't have the backing of any major corporations, don't have the backing of the rich. And there's been a couple of them have won, a few are in Congress through grassroots efforts, but the majority of them get sideswiped by our media, they get sideswiped by the right-wing party. Oh, they're so progressive. Oh, you know, yeah, Lord forbid. Oh, and I like to say, they want to feed our children. They want to fund our public education. School vouchers, oh my goodness, they're just bad. You can do the homework, you can disagree with me, but you can do the homework. They're actually segregation is what ends up happening, even worse than what's happening out there based on taxes and stuff. I guess I'm proud to say that if I can change, anybody can change. And I know this video's been kind of rambling, but I don't know, hopefully it gave you a picture, but let me go finish my thought, what I was saying, that's chemo brain, is, you know what? Us old men and government got no place to tell a woman what to do with her body and her health care. We need to feed our kids, and we need to provide a good public education for them. Wages need to go up. They still need to go up. You know, people talking about inflation. Well, you know what? Fastest growing economy in the world. It still needs some fixing. I get it. It's not where it needs to be. But inflation, yep, it's gone up, but lowest in the world. And then Biden, whatever his faults are, he did deliver. He delivered to the upper Midwest a factory, they call it the CHIP Act, so we can bring manufacturing computer chips back to America. Infrastructure, which is helping build our roads, and we need to spend more, trillions more, to get our roads and our bridges back. The green economy, hey, that's the future. Whatever that looks like, solar, wind, wave, whatever, it's coming. It's just like when the horse and buggy went out. Oil on its way out. Coal on its way out. Bye-bye. I mean, we might as well get used to it. You know, anybody watching this video, and if you're in your late 50s, odds are within 30, 35 years, we're not going to even be here anymore. And it's our kids and our grandkids that are going to pay the price. You know, and even if just for a second we assume, oh, there is no global climate change, it's man-made, which I believe it is, and so did 90-something% of scientists. Then hey, guess what? We get some clean water and some clean air. Let's not forget Flint, Michigan. Still drinking bringing in bottled water. There's places here in California that, sadly, I think are still bringing in bottled water because of the poison from industry and for-profit. But let me just say, I'm going to keep this about 3 more minutes, maybe 4. I've devoted the last 15 years of my life, like I said, to the unionism and the union movement. We've got a long way to go. I salute my Uncle Jay, who passed away a year or so ago. God help me, I can't remember, but I remember in the 80s, one time way back when, and I was in the service, and he asked me, he said, Mark, and he said, I'm a communist, and you have to defend the Constitution against all, would you shoot me? And I didn't even hesitate, and I was like, hell yeah, I would. Well, I salute you, Uncle Jay, not because you were a communist, but because you marched in the civil rights movement. You helped defend and raise up people. We all need to raise each other up. But you hid from the Ku Klux Klan in the basement because they were looking to hang you and your partner. All because you were just trying to help people of color. So, and I'm thankfully, I'm happy to say this. If I can change, anybody can change. We just got to leave each other something to think about. Be a little respectful to each other. You've noticed in this video, I'm not calling anybody names, nothing. But we do have something deeper than just a disagreement if you support Mr. Dumpster. But I welcome it, whether it's you got my phone number or, Facebook or some way we can interact on Messenger, I really am sincerely curious, why you support him. And not on this video, because it's not a good format to go back and forth, and I'm not going to do that in the comments. And I don't want to get into it publicly on Facebook. But I'm willing to literally listen, really listen. Not saying this video is going to change anybody's mind. I'm not saying any of that. But I can tell you this, I'm flying my flag. And in the end, I do believe we need to get rid of nationalism. But I'm proud. I'm damn lucky that I was born in this country. And, America can be so much better than what it is right now. It's just a disaster. I mean, it's, thankfully Biden and the administration brought back some hope and stuff, but, to call anybody in our system, anyways, I'm not going to preach. I wish the best for my kids and my grandkids, your grandkids. I wish the best for you. I do appreciate if you did watch till the end, because I asked you to in the beginning. I don't know how many will. I really hope that the people that took the time to comment, or if anybody does, that they actually do watch. I'm proud of my transformation. I'm proud of what I've helped people, help give them the opportunity in the last 25, 30 years. And I guess I'll just leave it at that. I love you all. I truly mean that. And yes, I've put my money where my mouth is. People have been very helpful and supportive me and Elvie on her cancer fight. And I don't need to not toot my horn or anything, but I've put my money back, some of it, where I could help people buy a set of tires. But really, next time when you go to vote, And hopefully you're participating to help get Kamala and her VP pick elected. I think it's great. And then I think we got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do as Americans. You know, we need to get a much better not-for-profit healthcare system. We need environmental protections. We need to build an economy that supports everybody, including my brothers and sisters in the Midwest and everywhere. So I love y'all. And if you watch, thanks for listening. And if not, well, then you didn't see this part either. So anyways, take care, everybody.